Those marshmallows are huge. That's what she said.
Nerdfightastic.
I totally thought I was going to do more than 4. Totally thought. But apparently, State Puff are really big marshmallows. Well, now I have... I didn't want to die. One of the first news stories that I remember seeing that I was like, oh my gosh, that's so informative and all that, was about the game Chubby Bunny. And it talked about kids who would shove marshmallows in their mouth and choke and die. So when my name got pulled from the Goblet of Fire, I was like, I promised myself after seeing that news report that I would never, ever play Chubby Bunny. So my first thought was, well, that's not getting done. But then I thought about it, you know, if John from Vlogbrothers can wax his chin, which can be disfiguring, and if he can eat a Happy Meal blenderized, which I'm pretty sure can kill you too, I can do Chubby Bunny once. But I wimped out, and I did 4. As you can see, the lighting situation is horrible. One of my lights went out, and I'm too lazy to go change the light bulb. And I'm back on my really bad webcam with my messy, full of crap headboard in the background. So I'm just gonna film this, and you guys will get an awesome one next week of Tom Milsom and the script. Because that's what I'm doing next week, is going to two concerts. I'm excited. So there's a few things that I haven't done, and that is answer questions questions. There's no and or, it's questions. First, Scott wanted to know sentimental objects and why they're sentimental. Signed copy, my very first signed book by John Green was the first book I bought of his, which is Looking for Alaska, in softcover. If you look back here, I have lots of copies of his books, and they're all signed. This is the most important one to me, most sentimental to me. And really, it's not sentimental because he signed it, or because it's the first book of his I bought. It's sentimental because it kind of symbolizes to me the nerdfighters in general. And most of my friends now, most of the people that I spend a lot of time with and I enjoy the company of, are nerdfighters. And I never would have found them if it wasn't for John and Hank. And so that's why it's sentimental to me. It more represents this time in my life, the past few years of my life, and the things that I've done in the community and seen done with the community and been a part of and all of that. So, Looking for Alaska. The other one, which is more personal, is a rock. For my youth group for church, we had something called Secret Buddies. And you drew a name out of a hat, and you had to get to know that person over the retreat weekend and make them a gift to give them on the last day. And then on the last day, we would all be in the same room, and we would stand up and say, this person really likes horses, and this person really, really likes hanging out with her friends and stuff. And so I made her this, and her name is this, and then you would say who it is. And so then it's like, oh, that's why we were talking all weekend, and things like that. You had to be like creative so they didn't know who their secret buddy was and stuff. So, the year 99, because it's on the bottom, one of the chaperones got my name, and he picked up a rock, and he painted the lake at the retreat spot that we were at. That year, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go or not, and so, like, while he was getting to know me for that weekend, you know, we discussed the fact that I almost didn't get to go, and how sad I would have been not to go. So he made me a rock, and then I could be there. And so it is very sentimental to me. It's probably, if not the best, one of the best gifts that I've ever received, because of just the thought and the effort that he put into it. Because you can make things like bracelets, which I do have some from another friend up there, and things like that. But he painted a rock, and he painted a scene on the rock that would be familiar to me and holds a lot of memories to me. So, one of my very sentimental objects. Dave, you asked a similar question of things that we would want to make sure that we took with us if we went. like move. One is a book. This is called The Unicorn. And it's basically a book of poetry by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. And it's one of the oldest books that I own. It's older than I am. It was printed in 1956, and I got it from the Dole Pineapple family's mansion. The unicorn is actually in the new Harry Potter film. It's a tapestry on the wall, and there's a poem in here about it, which is why it's called The Unicorn. Here sits the unicorn, in captivity, his bright invulnerability captive at last. The chase long past, winded and spent by the king's spear's rent. Collared and tied to a pomegranate tree, here sits the unicorn in captivity, yet free. So this is something that I would make sure was with me. I've read it over the years, like I got it when I was in middle school, I think. I've read it over the years, and each time I read it, I take something new from it. It's one of the few books that I can reread. The other thing is this picture of Judy Garland. It's actually a drawing. They had a cart at the mall that had famous people's pictures, and they had one Wizard of Oz one, but I didn't want it. But they would take your family photo and they would draw your family photo for you. And so I asked them if they would be willing, if I brought in a picture of Judy Garland, if they would draw Judy Garland for me. Bam! Judy Garland. Cody asked us a song we would strip to, and I was trying to think of a funny one, like, put stuff on your head. Gotta put stuff on your head. Put stuff on your head. It could be blue or it could be red. The color doesn't matter. It's on your head. I decided this one.
Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Shimmy, 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 shake. Shimmy makes my Jimmy grow. 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 Shake the shimmy, baby. Shake the shimmy, go go round from this Jimmy, baby. Shake, shake, shake. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you.
You know, I couldn't help myself. I had to put it in there somehow. I will see you guys next week for my concert footage. Yay!